My stepdad, who I 24F called dad most of my life, is the only dad I ever knew. He met my mom when I was only 1, and they got married right after my second birthday, so I literally have no memories of my life without him. And I would say most of my life I saw him as my dad and not my stepdad. He was the male figure who raised me and was there, but I was never equal to his bio kids. He would call me his stepdaughter when asked how many kids he had. I heard him say it, even when I was little. I always called him dad or him and mom my parents. It hurt a lot when I was younger. My younger sister was often called my first baby girl by him. My younger brother was called his firstborn. And while technically they are his first bio son and daughter, I was always expected to treat him like my real dad. But he was not always claiming me as his real daughter. Things started to change for me when I was 16. One of my friends called him my stepdad, and I didn't correct him. My stepdad overheard, and he told me he was hurt that after all he'd done for me, I'd let him be delegated to the lesser title of stepdad. I told him I was his stepdaughter most of the time, so why shouldn't he be my stepdad? My stepdad was still good to me. It was just some things really hurt when I was younger, and some things pissed me off when I was older, like the incident above. I did talk to him and mom about it, and I was gaslit into believing he didn't say stepdaughter, or he'd say that sometimes it's important to distinguish. But none of these were doctor appointment incidents. I always felt like it would have been easier if he had been consistent with not my kid for me. At least then, I wouldn't have been so confused and hurt as a younger kid. My grandparents noticed. I think what took their notice most was when I was 8 and I was worried I couldn't be his real daughter. I asked my stepdad to adopt me and he changed the subject. My stepdad's parents and 2 siblings were also there, and they looked shocked that I'd asked. I was never called a granddaughter by his parents or a niece by his siblings, but they were grandma and grandpa and auntie and uncle to me. Grandpa really stepped up for the emotional support, and when COVID restrictions happened, my fiancé and I moved in with him temporarily since he was alone and he knew we wanted to be in a home and not a cramped apartment. Which is why, when I got engaged, I asked Grandpa to walk me down the aisle. My stepdad was pissed, offended again, and he told me as much. I brought up how he talked about watching his 2 little girls get married, my 2 sisters, and never his 3. So why would he be taking on such a big task for his not little girl? He told me I was being so nitpicky, and I told him he was a hypocrite to treat me as not a daughter, but expect to be treated as a dad. He told me I didn't know the meaning of the word, and I should be more appreciative of all the things he gave me.